what is radical dating?
My name's Scott Travis. I'm in my 40s. I'm not big on dating. I hate dating. So I tend to not do it at all.
Hi, I'm Leah Savoli. I am 42 years old and I am single. In my head, my ideal relationship is, it's sexy, it's fun.
Which is that awesome partner in crime, my cool dude who supports and I support him and we have a lot of laughter.
I haven't been in a place where I was ready to be open to be in a committed relationship. I don't know how to define chemistry, but I certainly know it when I feel it.
I've spent the last few years really investing in myself and my business, and it's time to invest in being found or finding somebody to share my life with.
Radical dating is pretty much doing everything you're scared to do to get what you really want in your life and in a relationship and to find the love of your life. Because let's face it, dating today doesn't work. There's a lot of confusion about coaching and what coaching is. Most of us have a huge, important goal in our life. And a coach's job is to help you define exactly what that would look like if that goal were accomplished, help you identify the steps that are needed to accomplish that goal, and then support you to accomplish every one of those steps, and then accomplish that huge goal that you might have thought was impossible, and then celebrate with you when it happens.
I've never been married. I have no children. I have been single for what feels like an eternity. It's been at least 6 years since I've actively dated anyone.
Welcome. This is a little awkward for me too, because I don't normally coach with cameras on. My name is Laura Menzie. I am a life and relationship coach for singles. So a big part of the work of radical dating is not so much about the stuff that's going on outside of you. It's about lifting up the hood, looking inside and seeing what's working and what's not working and rewiring things in a different way so that when you go out in the world, you're showing up in a completely different way. And so a big part of what we're gonna do in the coming weeks is to understand and be clear about what your values really are so that you can start lining things up in your life, like different jobs that you'll take, friends, people that you work for, and your significant other. When you line all those things up with your values, that's when you start living a really fulfilled life.
Because, since we're talking about relationships and blocks and challenges, and if I'm honest with myself, I think I've always had some kind of block against commitment.
Radical dating is being willing to do something scary and take risk to get what you really want in your life and relationships.
When I realized I was gay, I was gay. I mean, it's like, oh no, I'm going to have a trauma over this. I accepted it and I moved on. Love and sex are two different things. It's in the gay world, that's all they ever talk about. It's two different things. Not to me. It seems like the relationships are more lax. Oh no, they're more lax. And people want open relationships, and they want this, and they want that, and they want this. I'm not like that. I'm definitely not like that. Give me my ring, done. I go in full force, and that's just the way I stay. Oh, yes, I wouldn't get rid of you either. No, I wouldn't.
Hey, Scott, here we are.
I know, finally.
I'm really excited to have you as my coaching client and honored to be part of this journey with you. Hi, I'm Rihanna Milne. I'm a certified life, love, and relationship coach, a certified addictions professional, and licensed mental health counselor. I became a coach because I just saw so many people wanting love and happiness, and I found that to help them find love, we had to address every area in their life first.
I'm not like one of those people that I can't pinpoint exactly what I want because it could change per person. I mean, I have 3 deal breakers. I don't like liars.
Okay.
I know everybody lies. If anybody ever says to you, I don't lie, they're lying. Because everybody lies about something. As long as there's not a malicious intent behind it that's going to hurt somebody, You know,
Is
little
this something you've experienced in the past that you're so strongly about?
Yes, very much so. Hypocrites.
Tell me what that means
I
to you.
do not like hypocrites. Anybody who's a hypocrite, I will tell,
Give me an example.
That'd be a deal breaker.
It could be scary to you to be honest about who you are and what you want, because you could be rejected.
My dream guy would do to help me reach that feminine side of myself and to soften up and to not be so like is that when I come home or crazy day, the dog is there. We have a dog together and we play and we throw the ball for the dog and tumble around with the dog, you know? And so to me, that's like family. That's like the start of a family.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Cheryl.
I'm just thrilled that we're going to be working together.
I'm thrilled too.
And the first thing that I wanted to do was to give you your very light.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, that's kind of large.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Spangler, and I'm a certified relationship coach for singles and a certified matchmaker. I love being a relationship coach because when we have love in our lives are so much richer and more beautiful. What's the specific goal you'd like to accomplish as a result of participating in this project and working with me? And your answer was to find a great man who is just as willing to work on a relationship as I am and who I'm attracted to. So tell me about that.
The attraction part, that's crucial because you can't, I mean, I might as well then just have friends because I have a lot of male friends who are awesome and other female friends of mine will say, why aren't you with so-and-so? Or why aren't you with so-and-so? You two get along so well and you're such a great team and, you know, and you have so much fun and he makes you laugh. And I was like, because he's my friend.
Have you ever experienced the kind of a phenomenon where you start out with friends and then something changes one day?
Yes, and it's usually been as a result of the guy hanging around in friend zone, hoping to switch that over. And so, and I associate that situation with in a negative way. So, but no, I've never been just friends with somebody and then eventually had a relationship with them.
So you've not had success with friend turning into more than friends?
It's usually been simultaneous.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like there's physical attraction as well as an interest in really getting to know each other on deeper levels.
It might be scary to you to go after 100% of what you really want in a relationship because you don't think it's really possible.
So I definitely love reading, but I do love having books. I'm looking for a partner, not a pet. So he will find his place within the order of things. But you know, the person who I'm with next will hopefully enjoy cats, just cat.
So Wendy, we are starting our first coaching session. This is so exciting. We're going to be on this journey together. My name is Lori Ann Davis, and I'm a certified relationship specialist, and I also have a master's in clinical psychology. I think I always incorporated coaching even into my counseling. I always wanted to see results with clients. I didn't want to just have them lay on my couch, sit in my chair, and talk about their feelings and talk about their past. And even though there's validity in that, I always wanted to see people move forward. I wanted them to be happy. I wanted them to make progress. How would you describe your relationship with dating?
My relationship with dating recently is non-existent. And so that's another piece that I think affects my relationship to dating is meeting somebody from scratch.
So your relationship with dating is not a very inclusive one, right? It's kind of hit or miss and not putting much energy into it. So it's not a very functioning relationship with dating.
So I go in and out of having online profiles, and I'll go on dates, and I'll be invited on second dates that I usually turn down. because I realize I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what the coaches say. They might say I cut my losses too soon, or I don't give people a chance. And so some of it has come into just the mindset of I have this rich, full life. And so almost like daring the universe to give me somebody who would be worth interrupting it all for. And I had this running story around like I'm an introvert, and so it makes sense that on the weekends I would want to spend a lot of time alone recharging my batteries, and like I'm not interested in just dating for recreation or to fill my time. But I also know that in order to find a suitable partner, you need to be willing to go out there and meet new people.
We have to take risks to get what we really want. We have to push our comfort zone. We have to push the envelope. We have to do things that might be scary to us to be successful.
I've been single for 20 years because I've chosen to be single for 20 years. And what I mean by that is I've been very protective of myself, of not opening up and being in a relationship.
Welcome, Brian. Ready for your first session?
I am.
Before we begin, I really want to share with you that from my perspective, I am here to help you on this journey to achieve your goals, whatever they are. My name is Louis Denbaum, and I'm a certified relationship coach. I became a relationship coach after my second marriage of 25 years fell apart, and I was back in the dating world at age 49 and horrified. I did end up finding the love of my life 3 years later, and we recognized after our marriage began that there's a process that we went through to actually find each other in a very conscious and intentional way. And we wanted to learn how to actually perfect that and help other people with that so they could find the love of their life. Is there anything that kind of was striking to you about yourself that you hadn't thought about?
Well, it's always interesting taking some time and reading things that are introspective. So it was an interesting period of time to go through it and fill some things out.
Currently experiencing, there's some worry, eating habits, and I know you're working on losing weight. By the way, I want to stop right here and now and honor you for the good job, for what you've already accomplished in that area of your life. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. Keep going. A little bit of down moods, some shyness. And where do you see any of those entering into the process of you finding the love of your life?
Well, that's, I think a lot of it has to do with confidence in meeting people. And I didn't used to be that way. You certainly are open to meet people when you have an air of confidence about you versus being very closed off from it.
Are you saying that you have less confidence now than when you were younger?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Went through a divorce, and which was not happy, as most aren't, but put a lot of weight on, and just didn't have any interest in being in any relationships.
Yeah.
So the last year or so, just started getting serious about it. Have some very good people in my life. I use the word cheerleader, and have some very good people in my life who have been that for me, especially my daughter. So
nice.
Part of it's companionship, part of it's the great intimacy of a partnership, of walking with somebody and holding their hand, of watching TV with somebody and having your arms around them. That's, that's just that great feeling of connecting with somebody.
A coach doesn't need to be an expert. A coach doesn't need to have all the answers, because we usually know what we should do.
How long does it usually take you to reach that point when you realize they're really not ready?
Well, I thought in the last situation that I had qualified very well.
Okay.
We had very open conversations about what we both envisioned for our future.
Right.
And he claimed that he wanted the same things that I wanted. And then we got to that point where it was like, okay, now we're starting to get like super serious. And then he was like, oh, well, I'm not really thinking about getting married for another 10 years at least. Like for me, it's like I thought I was qualifying. I asked the questions. But how do you know if somebody's really truly representing themselves?
Words tell and actions sell.
Yeah. It would probably be a lot easier to just be with a dog, because then I can continue to tell the dog what to do.
Trust is an issue with me. I will admit that.
What's the fear from?
I don't know, getting hurt, getting burned, getting taken advantage of.
Integrity is described as doing the right things when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
So that's your honesty, that's the truth, that's really important
That's
to you.
respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just give it. You have to give in to the relationship. If it's going to be a relationship, you can't hold anything back. You hold anything back, it's going to fail.
You had mentioned in your intake that when you're attracted to someone, you tend to be shy, and then you end up picking the wrong men. So tell me a little bit about that.
To me, attraction it's everything. It's not just the way somebody looks. It's the way they hold themselves and speak. And
because I want to challenge you to look at somebody from the inside first, not the outside.
Okay. Now that I don't know about that, but because you have to be attracted to the person. There's a difference between between 1 and 10. Okay. I've been out with 12s who, when they open their mouth, turn into a 2.
Okay, good.
I've gone out with 5s that have turned into a 9 when they open their mouth. It's just it's a personality that so I'm not attracted to one thing. I'm attracted to multiple things.
I think there's a lot of, and I guess relationship and dating would really fall into this category, is every, can I say the word every? Maybe. I don't necessarily want to say the word every, but I'll say most of, probably every guy that I ever dated in some way, shape, or form needed help. I tend to have been the breadwinner in most of the relationships, and the one that's trying to kind of pull the other person along up, into a higher place in life. And then I tend to get lost myself.
Tell me more about your self-esteem, because that confuses me a little bit.
It confuses a lot of people, right? Because here's Leah, I'm talking about myself in third person, but here's Leah, who's friendly and outgoing and adventurous and bubbly and always running around doing all these things and speaking on panels and all over social media. But at the end of the day, I don't know. There's obviously something inside of me that doesn't think I'm worth it. I know this. I don't know exactly where it comes from, and it doesn't really matter where it comes from, but I know it's a constant reminder. It's a constant battle for me to say, you're worth it, you're awesome, you're great, it's because I don't believe it.
Here's the good news. You ready? We're going to be so upfront about all this stuff that you won't even get into those kinds of situations ever again.
I don't have a lot of relationship regrets, but I definitely have some. So I use my ex-husband as kind of like a reference point to the type of man that I want to be with. Mm-hmm. What we had was so awesome. It's too bad that the timing was off. So, it takes two. Well, when I say I messed up my marriage, it wasn't totally my fault, obviously. It takes two to make a relationship work. I think that we did this book when we first got married called the Hard 100 Questions to Ask Before You Get Married, or something like that. And we went through every single question, and we were totally on the same page. 2 years into the marriage, he decided he wanted to speed up the timeline in terms of having children. And I wasn't ready for that yet. Now I would probably stay and totally work on it, because I knew what I had. But at the time I was like, no, I don't want this. And I was like, I'm going to go and fly free and do my own thing. And, so that's how I ruined it. Because he was willing to work on it, but he wanted to still have the babies right now. That was one thing he didn't want to compromise on.
I'm just curious. Do you know what happened to him right after? I know you're still friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, it took us 2 years to get divorced.
Okay.
We split, and then we were just separated for a long time. And we stayed friends, and we shared custody of our dog. We were cool.
Yeah, it's great.
He met a woman I guess about a year after our separation. And she was not cool with that situation.
Relationship, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I don't like her texting. I don't like her calling. Like, no more coming to pick up the dog. So that sucked. So he called me one day and he was like, hey, I need to see you. And we did coffee and he's like, we can't have contact anymore.
Oh, that's tough. It still affects you.
Totally. He was my best friend.
Oh.
I love to compromise. I love to communicate. I love to work through things. And that's one thing I have to say about my ex-husband. Like, we talked through a lot of stuff. And he just had made his decision. Nope, this is what I want now. I want to do it now. I don't want to wait until I'm an old guy. And I was a little younger than him, so I felt like I had more time. So now, fast forward 10 years, I'm like, I have some regrets about the decision that I made to just leave.
So I'm constantly having to remind myself to like be receptive. People want to help you. Be receptive, because I know that a big part of allowing a man to come into my life is me being receptive for him.
So what do we need to do to get that same confidence, that same sparkle in your eye and smile on your face about dating, about finding this right guy for you?
Even though it's not fun to look at, there could be part of me that says I can't have it the way I want it. And even saying that sounds ridiculous because I'm like, that's not true. You know that's not true. But there's got to be part that does.
Can't have what the way I want it?
The relationship, the quirky yet amazing man, like the whole, that level of goodness. And live your really good life.
By yourself. Because in order to try to find somebody, I have to put up with this shit? Is that?
Yeah. It's not worth it.
But that's not okay with you.
Well,
completely.
Some days it is. But some days it's not.
You know, it's a sign that's in the other room. It's the word adventure.
If we don't believe we deserve, that we're worthy of receiving love, of receiving help and support, then we won't be successful in our relationships.
I saw my grandparents. They were married for 60, some odd years, and my grandfather just passed away. And it's like first time they've been apart. The whole time. That's what I want. I want that one person to come home to every day. I can hear my grandmother yelling my grandfather's name across the house all the time. His name was Tom, but she called him Pat. Where it came from, who knows? But she would yell and scream his name at the top of her lungs. And the way she yelled was like, you thought she was mad at him. Oh my God, what did he do? Nothing. That's just the way she called him. They were an easy flow. It was like, I never could ever imagine them with anybody else. It's just this thing that
Okay, so
enough.
So that brings us actually to your goals. And I want to hand this sheet over to you so that you can actually, one at a time, read your first goal.
It says gaining confidence.
All right, let's stop with that.
Okay.
So you're already gaining confidence. And that'll only get better and better as you go on.
I don't know if it's in just myself in the process. It's a horribly tough process. There's so many things in life where people say, yeah, there's not really a playbook on this. To me, there's not a playbook on this.
This is a horrendous process, right? A horrific process. But you're embracing it. You don't have any doubts at this point. You're going for it.
I'm there. I'm in the pool.
Yeah.
I'm in the pool.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
Doggy paddling, but in the pool.
The right guy is my unicorn right now. I have no idea where he is.
I used to have this big long list of things, right? And these days it's passionate, productive,
Confident, smart, makes me laugh. That's a given. I have to laugh.
But the right guy is going to be loyal, and it's going to be natural.
Of course I'm asking myself, what the hell did I get myself into?
I'm excited. Like there's some definite nerves, but I'm mostly excited.
Radical dating is the process of discovering exactly who you are, exactly what you want, and how to get it.